Okay. Let's make sure we are on. Okay, good. Some storms in the area again. Let me get this a little changed around here. We are on, it says. Okay, good. Dr. Dean's having camera issues again. Okay. Here we are. Good. Hey, Canada. Hello, Lexington, Washington. Everyone's jumping on now. And I have to look at a different camera because my camera's acting up again. Dr. Dean's getting a new camera this weekend. Detroit, Pennsylvania, Indianapolis, Toledo, Ohio, Australia. I love Australia. I got another contact from Australia yesterday. I am happy to help Australia. Iowa. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Chicago, Louisiana, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wyoming. Hello out there. Hello, North Carolina and San Diego. I hope you're doing well. Cray, Louisiana. Oh, Cray, Los Angeles. Yes, Erica. Oregon. Hello from Forest. Okay, Oregon. Australia again. I love my Australia family. Someday I will get out there. Massachusetts. Wonderful. So, yes, as you can see, camera problem again, meaning Dr. Dean's getting a new HD camera this weekend, so we don't have these problems anymore because I'm running off a different camera, but the audio is fantastic, I hope. If anybody has any audio issues, let me know tonight because I had to switch over some audio to make this camera work correctly. So, hope it's all well. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for health, knowledge, and freedom. Health, freedom, knowledge, whatever order you want to go in. Welcome. More Oregon, Minnesota, Melbourne, Australia. I love it. Keeley, it's a great name too. All right, Kentucky. We're diving in. Okay, now, the first thing I'm going to talk about tonight is the president and his tweeting. Okay? What does the president know? What does the president not know? That is the question. What does he know? What does he not know? Okay, now I'm going to show you some Twitter feeds. So here we go. I'm going to show you his little his tweeting today. Let's show you. Okay, so as always, I got to blow this up a little bit for you so you can see it better because I like my screen very small, just so you know. The ReAwakening of America. What does that mean? The ReAwakening of America. He probably can't say awakening because then it's going to be tied to the Great Awakening, which I'm sure he has to be very careful how he talks about. So very, very interesting. And now also, Democrats and activists call to defund police departments. They've gone so far left that they eat their young. I am not going to speculate what he might mean by they eat their young. And obviously, I don't want to be morbid and gross. But you've heard about some of the crazy stuff that goes on and the Hillary stuff and everything else. So what does that mean that they eat their young? Anyway, the president was on a roll today with his tweeting, and he also said we're not defunding the police. He said many things today. Obviously, he had some really good replies to this one. But what does it mean by they've gone so far left, they'll eat their young? I don't think it's good stuff, but I think he knows what he's talking about, okay? Now, on top of that, I'm going to show you an article that, so someone beat me to it. So let me show you my face. I'm getting very, very excited because the next article I'm going to show you is Crazy Town. All right. Now, I got to walk you through this a little bit because I'm sure some of you, this is where we go deep. There's conspiracy and then there's deep conspiracy. So like conspiracy is 9/11. Conspiracy is like Sandy Hook. Conspiracy cough's worse tonight. It's okay. Conspiracy is war, okay? Now, deep conspiracy are things like moon landing. Deep conspiracy are things like Antarctica and flat Earth theory, or the Dracos and the ETs and the Greys and the Palladians. Like that's pretty deep. There's deeper stuff, but that's pretty deep. Okay, so I'm going to show you this next article that I think you'll find very fascinating, because why would he randomly do that? By the way, I received a couple hats in the mail. I don't know who they came from, if they were a gift or not, but whoever it is, thank you so much. This is my America hat. I have another one too that I'll bust out some other time, but this is my America hat, which I will be happy to be wearing around. But thank you so much. You're all amazing out there. Now, to the article. Here we go. Trump orders polar icebreaker fleet to build up strong Arctic security presence. Why would we need a strong Arctic security presence? Now, not only that, let me cut back over here real quick to me, okay? Not because I want to talk. So this is also on my phone that I got tonight. This is the phone, my phone. This is the Washington Times. Whoa, let me get it out of the light. Hold on. You're not gonna be able to read it. It's Trump orders U.S. to develop polar ice breaking fleet to Arctic and Antarctic. This is the Washington Times, okay? But this one, let me go back to it. This one is RT, all right? We're going to Antarctica, baby. Why are we going to Antarctica? Why would we need to go to Antarctica? Let's see. I don't know. Maybe because there's a hole in the top of the planet at Antarctica, and people go in there because there's an underground world there. Whether it's a flat Earth or not, we know for sure from resources that they're going underground. All right, now he's instructed his agencies to begin the buildup of a fleet of polar security icebreakers that would be fully operational by 2029, citing the need to protect U.S. interests in the Arctic and Antarctica. Why? Because this is what happened. So let me explain this to you guys. Let me get on camera here. Okay. I'm going to go back and forth between this article. However, this is fascinating because I've looked at this for a long time, but it could be, and some of you are going to find this really hard to believe. So when the Nazis were defeated, Hitler escaped. Hitler was not killed after the Holocaust. Okay, now during the Holocaust, they traded. If you look at the Orion lines, you'll understand this. They traded. Now, I'm excited, but this doesn't make me feel good when I say this stuff. They traded people for ET technology. Eisenhower was involved with that. Okay, I'm going to show you a little link or quote by him later, but this was all part of Project Paperclip. So the submarines went with the UFOs. Hitler had the UFOs. They gave them technology. They went to Antarctica. There's a reason why dignitaries, politicians, okay, there's a reason why John Kerry keeps traveling to Antarctica. They're not going up there for the weather. They're not going up there. My wife actually lowered the AC and it's freezing in here right now. And that's one of the reasons I'm coughing, because I'm actually like frigid in my own house. It's dropped below 70. So I'm very excited about this because one or two things could happen out of this, okay? One is we just find out that there's an inner world to the planet. Now, I'm telling you, some of you are going to be mind blown by that. Some of you are not going to be able to accept that. Some of you are going to say, like, this is not possible. There's a whole inner Earth theory that's a conspiracy theory, and I've read deep about it. And, like, it's kind of, okay, I see where they could come from. There's an entire inner Earth going on, all right? Now, this actually goes down the road of oil is also abiotic. Oil is not from dinosaurs. As a matter of fact, let me go full whack job on you tonight, okay? Let me go full whack crazy conspiracy theory. It's actually even possible there were never any dinosaurs. Okay? That's a whole other thing. I'm not going to go into that tonight. But it's very possible that oil is actually abiotic, meaning it continues to replenish itself inner Earth. There are supposedly cities, oceans, lakes, you name it, inner Earth. Okay? Now, you're going to have to go look this up. I'll do as much information, much research for you as I can. But now, this is part 2. And I don't know if this is going to happen. But what if, and I can say this because it really doesn't make a difference to us at all. So, like, people get really, really fired up and, like, not happy about the flat Earth theory. And I'm neither globe or flat Earth, because it's never really interested me that much. And ultimately, guess what? It doesn't really matter. Whether we live on a flat Earth or a globe, it doesn't really matter, okay? However, we could get out of this that we are a flat Earth in some way, shape, or form, okay? Now, this goes back to you. If you remember, I told you that I talked to a NASA higher up probably 3 years ago now. And I asked him some things about what was going on, and he said, the moon is metal and it's hollow. We know that for sure. He also said that Mars does not look like it looks on camera, meaning he said it looks like Arizona when you get there. And I asked him if there were other beings out there. And he said it's mathematically impossible not to have other beings out there. Like, it's not possible not to. There's too many planets. There's too many galaxies. There's something. What if the New World Order, and remember, so I got to kind of piece this puzzle together for you, okay? What if these Dracos are involved with planet Earth, a very dark spiritual force, battling against a very light spiritual force? Let's call it God and his angels, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter to me. There are two outside forces going against each other here, and we are civilians in the human race on planet Earth. All right. Now, what if they're going in the Earth from the center, the top, which is Antarctica? Because remember, Eisenhower met with beings from a different planet, and you can find this many different sources, okay? William Cooper talks about that all the time, and you can go YouTube his videos. It's out there. All right, it's in his book. All right, so what if, and I don't care if it's flat Earth or round Earth, it does not make a difference. It's just fascinating to find out which one it is. But what if they're inside the Earth? Remember, we talked about this before. What if the children are being held underneath the ground in the tunnels where the dark races are, the dark ETs? So it's interesting, on the same day he talked about the ReAwakening and eating their young, he also drops the bomb on the fact that we need a polar ice fleet in Antarctica. If you don't think all this is coming together, this is going to be mind-blowing, this whole thing. So I'm going to go back to the article real quick now that I put some of that stuff together for you. You can go look at all this stuff. Okay, so here you go. The memo issued to the State Department, Pentagon, Commerce, Energy, and Homeland Security, Trump said the U.S. needed to develop and execute a polar security ice-breaking fleet acquisition program. Why would you need to go down there? They might say minerals or something, but there's something far deeper than that, okay? The fleet will include at least 3 heavy polar class security cutters and a class of medium polar security cutters based on the full range of national and economic security missions, such as resource exploitation and undersea cable maintenance. Please, it's far more than that, okay? It's far deeper than that. Down here, we have the U.S. currently has 1 operational heavy icebreaker. More about the fleet. There is definitely some stuff going on. Trump has long had his eye on the Arctic, floating the idea of buying Greenland from Denmark in August 2019. Though the Danes snubbed the U.S. offer, Washington has continued to explore the possibility of acquiring the world's largest island and the gateway to the Arctic ever since. Okay, so what are they doing? I'm telling you, there's something big coming down on this one, okay? There's something very big. I just don't know fully what it is yet, okay? But this is going to be probably really massive. Let me show you this art. Let me show you this real quick, because this is Eisenhower who is fully involved, okay? Let me go to this quote. I made it big for you. Okay. Until the latest of our world conflicts, the United States had no armaments industry. American makers of plowshares could, with time and as required, make swords as well. But now we can no longer risk emergency improvisation of national defense. We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Added to this, 3.5 million men and women are directly engaged in the defense establishment. We annually spend on military security more than the net income of all the United States corporations. Now, down here below, all right, in the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for this disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or our democratic processes. Okay, so he knew, because he met with the other species, and then it got away from him. The military got away from him when he agreed. He probably got forced into agreeing, by the way. I don't think he actually did it on his own, okay? He agreed. He gave up more to the military-industrial complex, and then on his way out, he warned about how big it was getting and the fact that it was going to take over our liberties. So, interesting. Eisenhower, Antarctica, hollow. Ice-breaking fleet by President Trump, and the reawakening of America. Do you see it all coming together? Do you see how this might be working? I find it completely fascinating myself. I hope you do as well. Okay, moving on, because I think there's something important up here, meaning we have Barr says today, this is a Q drop, by the way. Did everyone see the Q drop? Barr said familiar names among those the DOJ, Department of Justice, is investigating in the Durham probe, calls findings very troubling. Okay, this was actually, when I got home, this was a minute ago, so this was at like probably 8 o'clock. Okay, he told Fox News' Brett Baier that Americans will be able to recognize some of the names under investigation as part of the U.S. Attorney John Durham's ongoing probe into federal surveillance abuses. Sorry if this is small. Sometimes my computer does not like the articles and throws them in weird formats for me. So my apologies for that. All right. So stuff is going down. Remember, we have those indictments. We have those indictments coming from John Durham. And it's very, very big. I think we're going through a wave of speeding up now that the riots have kind of not died down, But we become almost like desensitized and immune to them because we're tired of it. And Pelosi and the Democrats have done something stupid by kneeling with kente garb or scarves from Ghana, and so they've embarrassed themselves. So it kind of took some of the sting off of it. But we are moving forward very quickly. Okay, now I want to show you something else that I think I misplaced here. Hold on one second. I did misplace it. I actually think I closed it. So anyway, whatever. I'll tell you about. No, actually, here it is. Sorry, I found it. Let me tell you. The old man who got pushed down by the Buffalo police. Now, the president early on today tweeted that this guy, I don't remember the exact words he used. I could bring it up, but I'm not going to bring it up right now because I got to filter through his tweets. But basically said this was a scam. Now, he's going to probably take some heat for that if he hasn't been taking heat already. However, okay, enough already with the peaceful protester in Buffalo being pushed down crap. Spin whore Marie Harf just threw him out again. Martin Gugino is a 75-year-old longtime radical protester that has been arrested over 300 times for his radical troublemaking, 82 times for inciting. Okay, now he calls him a son of a bitch. Is far from being an innocent old man, as being portrayed by some. Gugino is a longtime hard left agitator with a documented longtime criminal record of inciting riots and astroturfing. He's an open society funded radical. This is what he does. I like this guy's name, Roscoe B. Davis. That's a great name. I wonder if he really is the cowboy in the picture. Gugino's Facebook and Twitter accounts have been deleted. The accounts reveal he's a seasoned leftist activist who had a self-described obsession with Cuba, or as they say down here, Cuba. Gugino has ties to radical socialist Catholic worker movement, which is behind the Witness Against Torture program. And obviously he says some really dirty words there. Not very nice, right? And this is the actual video that happened again. And if you watch, let's watch it here. They're going to do, I guess this is a slow motion one. So he goes up, he's agitating, he's getting way too close, by the way. Like, no one would get that close to a police officer. And then he gets pushed down, right? That was not a hard push, but he took it. And that just shows it over again. We don't need to see that. However, let me tell you something about this. Now, the left got all freaked out about this. The first thing I noticed, okay, I will tell you. Now, I didn't post about it because I didn't know at the time, and I wasn't diving deep down this rabbit hole because it doesn't really matter necessarily. However, what I noticed was he went off screen, but then he was laying on the ground. Now, I'm not saying physiologically this can't happen, or anatomy-wise this can't happen, but I noticed immediately he has blood coming out of his ear. So even if he hit his head really hard, I could see splitting his head open, the back of his head, and blood coming out the back of his head. But why the hell did he have blood coming out his ear, and why was it going straight down? And that's where they say he probably had a blood bath. Now, I don't know if that's the case or not. And I'm not even saying he didn't bleed. I'm just saying it looked really weird. And you don't typically see blood come out. Like, how many MMA guys in UFC do you see get the crap kicked out of them? They go down. They're bleeding all over their face. They bash their head against a fence. They bash their head against the hard ground. And they don't have blood coming out of their ear. So, very fascinating how this happened. And it happened so easily, okay? So, anyway. I'm all fired up tonight. That's why I'm all over the place, okay? So I apologize for being fired up, but the Antarctica thing really got me fired up because, holy crap. Yes, and the blood was viscous. Like, it was very, very thick, very dark. It looked thicker than blood. So, whatever. If the guy was really injured, I hope that he gets better, but I don't like radical, crazy people running up and creating a situation which isn't real to get a media triggered, as well as all the Democrats at home triggered. So I just think there's a lot to it that doesn't make any sense. Okay? Now, I promised you that we would talk about the 1,000 points of light tonight. Do you remember President President Bush, H.W. Bush, the guy who essentially pulled the theoretical trigger on JFK being assassinated because he was in the CIA and running it, and basically created the CIA for the most part. And he had this thing called 1,000 points of life. Now, I've shown you in other videos how he also said that we have a new world order, right? So I am not a fan of George H.W. Bush. I'm not a fan of any of the Bushes. I mean, I used to be because I didn't know enough. I didn't know better. But ever since I was awakened, now I know exactly what they are. And I also know that they're actual Nazis by origin. So that people have actually gotten mad at me for saying that because they refuse to go look at it and understand. So 1,000 points of light. Let me awaken you to all this stuff because it sounded wonderful when he first said it. Let me take you first to a video because you know President Trump's going to be involved with this somehow. Here we go.
We're going to win like we've never won before. Like we've never won before. Because we are finally putting America first. We're putting America first. And by the way, you know, all the rhetoric you used to hear, the 1,000 points of light. What the hell was that, by the way? 1,000 points of light. What did that mean? Does anyone know? I know one thing. Make America great again, we understand. Putting America first, we understand. 1,000 points of light. I never quite got that one. I'm trying to say, what the hell is that? Has anyone ever figured that one out? And it was put out by a Republican, wasn't it?
So, do you think President Trump might know about the 1,000 points of light when he called it ridiculous? And he said, what does it really mean anyway? What does it really mean? Okay. Very fascinating. So, okay, I'm gonna read something off to you tonight. Okay. And this is regarding, it says it's actually a website called the Genesis 6 Conspiracy, okay? Now, this is not to offend anybody. I just want to tell you about where the 1,000 points of light come, okay? So I'm going to read this directly to you from the website, okay? It's too small, so I'm not going to take you over and show you. Here you go. According to Gnostic theology, when Eve and then Adam ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they ate beautiful fruit of gnosis, or knowledge. Remember, I'm talking about Illuminati here, okay? Where was I? According to Pike, Pike is NWO starter, Albert Pike. Adonai, and I'm going to mispronounce these. Adonai was an evil demon forbidding Adam to eat of the fruit of knowledge. But Adam obeyed an angel of light, Lucifer, and ate from the good side of the tree. Saint Irenaeus professed his Gnostic literature that wisdom, Sophia, mother of Laldabaoth, some of you will know this better than I don't know these names, cunningly led Eve away from Laldabaoth via the snake, whence both Adam and Eve then became acquainted, all-knowing gnosis with the power superior to all, and then rebelled away from Laldabaoth. Chapter 9, Hancock and Bivall note that the Nag Hammadi texts depict a serpent as a hero and benefactor to humankind. For after Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, they awakened to their luminous nature. Adam and Eve then became like gods, knowing both good and evil and the 7 spurious sciences. The reason I'm reading this to you is because the Illuminati read something different than you do, right? They're reading a very different Bible than you're reading, just so you know. All right, now, this is from a conspiracy site, okay, a Genesis 6 Conspiracy, so I'm not saying all this is in what they read. Now, moving forward, there's 2 more paragraphs, okay? And as I'm reading this, I'm not trying to convert anybody to this. I'm also not trying to bring any spiritual darkness to anybody watching right now, okay? That's not what I'm doing. I'm just showing you what their viewpoints are, because the next site I'm going to show you is the 1,000 points of light that he was actually talking about, and why you need to know about this, because this is what they were going towards. So as a result, Adam's descendants achieved very high levels of knowledge, even to the point of manipulating the antediluvian physical world with clever machines and devices. Whereupon Demiurge intervened once more with the flood to restrict human potential. Hence, the flood was designed to punish humanity for having risen so high. It was designed to remove the light or knowledge from among humankind. Survivors were then thrown into toil to survive, but some fortunately maintained the antediluvian knowledge to benefit a future generation. When a general knowledge or general awakening will once more occur via 1,000 points of light. So let me reread that sentence, okay? Because it ends with the exact phrase we're talking about. Hence, the flood was designed to punish humanity for having risen so high. It was designed to remove the light or knowledge from among humankind. Survivors were then thrown into toil to survive, but some fortunately maintained the antediluvian knowledge to benefit a future generation. When a general awakening will once more occur via 1,000 points of light. George Herbert Walker Bush. 1,000 points of light was pushing it right into you when he was talking about it. Last paragraph here. Satan then is believed to be the great emancipator of Adam and Eve, freeing them from the bonds of ignorance. Gnostics additionally believe each person of a specific race contains within his or herself a hidden seed of the divine that is crying to be released from its prison, the person's body, so that it can reside in its natural home, the spirit world of the gods. This hidden seed is the power stolen by Laldabaoth that Zoe and supposedly the Holy Spirit are assisting the Gnostic race in collecting. This is the spirit of globalization, which will join the collective seeds of the divine, enabling discriminating elite to vibrate into godhood. Does this sound familiar? From the descendants from the antediluvian Gnostic Scythite sect, according to the Gnostic expert Bentley Layton, springs a race, the descendants of Nephilim, Rex Dios bloodlines, Gnostics, and the Theosophists, a race where the so-called seeds, points of light, lie hidden, waiting to be freed. So, that's what George Herbert Walker Bush was talking about, the 1,000 points of light. Now I'm going to take you to, guess what? Their website, because it's very fascinating what they talk about. Okay, and I hope, and again, I read that just so you guys had the knowledge of what's going on. They're reading from a different source than you're reading from, okay? You need to know that. Yes, it was deep. It was very deep. Let me take you. Oh, by the way, he also talked about that in his speech where he talked about 1,000 points of light. He put 1,000 points of light and the New World Order in the same speech, okay? Now, let me bring you to his lovely website where he teaches you about the points of light. Here it is. I bet you didn't know about this website. And by the way, if you cut off this bottom star, that's actually the pentagram, which is the worship of Satan or Saturn. Just so you know, okay? That's what that is. Now, the story begins with a vision of 1,000 points of light that endures with the help of every individual who has realized their power to do good. All right? Now, I'm going to take you just through this timeline really briefly, okay? Because I think it's interesting. Because at the bottom, it gets very, very interesting, okay? So, this is when he made all the speeches. He advocates the points of light, all right? We go down here at the bottom. Okay, you see Bill Clinton back there. Interesting. Why would Bill Clinton be involved, okay? As we go down farther, all right, we see, oh, look at that. There's Barack Obama. Do you see that? So, do you see that? I didn't even click on that. Let's see. It says it's a video. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I didn't even notice this was here. Let's look at it. Oh, President Obama speaks on taking action. Here we go. Let's watch this. I don't know what he said. I missed this before.
In the end, when it comes to the challenges we face, the need for action always exceeds the limits of government. While there's plenty that government can do and must do to keep our families safe and our planet clean and our markets free and fair, there's a lot that government can't and shouldn't do. And that's where active, engaged citizens come in. That's the purpose of service in this nation. And that's the point I want to emphasize today, that service isn't separate from our national priorities or secondary to our national priorities. It's integral to achieving our national priorities. It's how we will meet the challenges of our time.
Huh, interesting. President Obama and President Bush, very good friends. Isn't that fascinating? Down there again. So in February 2011, President George W. Bush, a catalyst in the creation and expansions of Points of Light, is honored by President Obama with a Presidential Medal of Freedom. What? So they honor each other with a Presidential Medal of Freedom. Do you see the insanity that we've been dealing with? Remember, so wait, let me go back to me. Do you remember George Carlin talked about it's a big club and you ain't in it? Do you notice what's going on? This is the Points of Light, folks. This is the Points of Light. Let me go back because I want to show you something else as well. This is fascinating to me. Oh, look at that. 2017. Look, you have all the presidents there in a historic moment that included all 5 former U.S. presidents. Points of Light recognized 5 individuals for their volunteer efforts during a series of hurricanes along the Gulf Coast, which they probably created. Points of Light Chairman Neil Bush, along with President and CEO Natalie Paquin, presented 5 daily Point of Light awards during the Deep from the Heart, the One American Appeal benefit concert. They were joined on stage by Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush, and Jimmy Carter, because they're all part of the game. All right. Now, who we serve? Let's click on this one. Who we serve. Oh, look at that. We have kids, inner cities probably. Okay. And then if we go down, I think this is the one. If I go down, look at that. We all do better when we work together. Our differences do matter, but our common humanity matters more. And that is former President Bill Clinton. Do you see how this all works? You have them all in one big club. But it's very fascinating because it seems like this big club despises and hates President Trump, because he's definitely not hanging out with him. And then even President Bush, the one that's alive, George W. Bush, endorses Joe Biden for president. Do you see how this amazingly works and how fascinating this is? So, yeah, very, very, very interesting. I'll end with that because I think you get the point that they are subliminally programming you with their messages. I remember President Bush saying the 1,000 points of light so many times. It's amazing. So many times. Okay. Now, so when I show you this next screen, I'm not going to say that I made him do this because I don't necessarily know. But a couple weeks ago, I tweeted something out saying, interesting that all of this stuff is coming up, these lawsuits with Judicial Watch. And I wonder if Judicial Watch is doing the legwork, for Q, because it seemed like they were aligning quite a bit with the lawsuits coming out and what Q is talking about. And then today, I'm not going to take credit for this, but I kind of want to take credit for this, that Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch posted this. I am not Q, JFK Jr., and there is no plan. So he said, crisis, insurrection, our republic under attack from violent left. Big house testimony, left using coronavirus. So he's outwardly saying, I am not Q. I am not part of any plan. I'm not JFK Jr. I'm not doing any of this stuff. But it's very fascinating because this came out literally today, right after I mentioned something about it a couple weeks ago, I think it was, maybe a week, two ago, something like that. And then it actually, my tweet got a little bit of traction out there of saying, hey, that does kind of seem interesting that Judicial Watch happens to be going right along with the Q stuff. So I still, just because Tom Fitton says it's not, doesn't mean anything, okay? And then you have Bina down there. And then all the Anons, you had to know the Anons were going to go crazy when they saw this. So the Anons all jumped in. All of them jumped in. So Tom Fitton, if he didn't know about Q, knows about Q now because they are all on board. So now to my last piece tonight, okay? I want to bring you to this. This last one here is not the most comfortable thing to see. It's not gory. It's just, it will make you a bit angry, okay? I was talking to Edwin Dearborn the other day, and we were talking behind the scenes saying that it's very fascinating how all of us, or a lot of us, have changed our lives in the last couple months. So I put out a post saying that I have not missed sports at all. I mean, and by the way, I don't really watch a lot of sports anyway, but like I haven't watched NFL in a long time. Every once in a while I would turn on a game for 5-10 minutes here or there. I watch sometimes a little bit of NASCAR, but if anything I watch, I'm actually more of a wrestling fan. So I watch a lot of professional wrestling here and there, but I was a big baseball fan. I'm a big Yankee fan. However, I have changed a lot of things with this whole thing. Like I don't watch any television. The first television I watched was I turned on a TV over the weekend because we were at a hotel and I turned it on to see it was on. But we actually changed the channel to a home improvement, like a HGTV type show, just like because it's creative, it's interesting, and we have some rooms we want to remodel. So we looked at it to see some things. Anyway, we're getting to the point, folks, that it is time to change our lives a little bit. Now, I say that because the next thing I'm going to show you is very close to us, not via the heart or the spirit, but very close to us physically. And that is Disney. Now, what I want to do is I want to challenge all of you out there, okay? Because I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but are you notice you guys are waking up? Are there things that you're looking at, seeing today, either from me, other YouTubers, other tweeters, other news sources out there, doing your own research, and you're seeing things and waking up? Is that true for you? Are you seeing new things and waking up to stuff? I'm assuming you are, okay? I know you're a little bit behind me on the feed, so the answers don't come right in. However, I want to talk to you about the things that we might need to turn off and stop going to, okay? I live approximately 40 minutes from Disney, all right? About 40 minutes from Disney. I will tell you, even probably 4 or 5 years ago, I had annual passes. We were home a lot. It was very inexpensive. Disney is by the very root evil. Now, I'm sorry, your kids are probably still watching some Disney shows. I have done my best to cut off all Disney programming for my daughter because there's subliminal messages that are going on. Okay, I'm going to show you some pictures that you need to be aware about because there's this one ride in Disney that's really popular, and it's honestly the dumbest ride ever from a standpoint of it's not a roller coaster. It's super slow. It's probably a 5-minute ride, and when you go, it's one of the things you have to do every time you're there because you basically have to say you're there. And it's called A Small World. Okay, so Small World, if you really look at the story behind the ride, it's about globalization. Disney was a globalist, but on top of that, Disney was very, very satanic, Saturnish, whatever you want to call it, okay? So, let me show you the pictures because this is stuff you need to see, and I really do challenge you to walk away from things like Disney, even though I know it's not easy, okay? The symbolism is insane. All right, here's a small world, okay? So that is a pedophilia symbol. All right? Whoops. I got knocked off. I got knocked off right when I was trying to show you something. That's interesting. That is a pedophilia symbol, just so you know. This is what Disney is subliminally showing you. All right? I'm going to go down. I'm going to scroll a little bit, okay? These are also symbols. Okay? You need to know this stuff. Now let me go back because I didn't want to show you all. I didn't want to. Oops. Hold on a second. I got booted off the one I wanted to be on. Now I got to go back and find it. Oh, by the way, if you didn't know, here you go. I'll show you this because I saw this today. Hugh Hefner, possibly CIA. Hugh invites over celeb politicians. He offers them something younger. Hugh offers them a safe space to do it in. Hugh tapes the encounter, sends the tape to the CIA. CIA has person by the balls for life. By the way, they also have hidden tunnels under there, okay? I'll go back. I want to go to this part. This is Wyatt. If you don't know Wyatt's hardcore, you should be watching Wyatt, even though he is very hardcore. I want to get down here because he had something fantastic. There's Podesta. You know Podesta's scum. I'm trying to get down here to... I lost my Disney. There it is. Okay. So there is also pedo symbols right here. Okay? This is Disney. And I'm not doing this to harm you guys. I'm not doing this to try to scare you. I'm just showing you what it is. Okay? There you go. This is what they're doing. All right? I'll scroll down here, see if they have anything interesting. There's the Pope, by the way, if you didn't know. So the Pope over here on the right has the same symbols around his robe. All right. Mickey upside down is wicked, just so you know. I don't know if you know this or not. Let's see if there's any other ones. I'm not going to go through some really sick stuff because I'd prefer not to have to show that because it's just not pleasant, okay? I'm seeing if there's anything that stands out from all this stuff. Whoops. So this is the different videos, the different movies, all right? Monsters, Inc. Okay, look what they do with Monsters, Inc. Yeah, this is all the stuff that you have to know that they're doing. This is Disney, all right? So this is not necessarily, I'm definitely not trying to upset you all this. I'm just letting you know this is what they do, all right? They've been doing this for a long time. I challenge you as a noble patriot to reorganize your life, to create your life versus consume the material that they're putting out there. Right now, I'll be honest with you, I have not watched a movie in probably, other than one small one, I have not watched a movie in probably 6 months. I've watched documentaries, but not movies. And I'll tell you, I don't miss it at all, okay? I want you, and I talked about this months ago. I want you to become an entrepreneur. I want you to be a person that creates your reality, who creates artwork, who creates, business stuff, products, services, etc. Because quite honestly, we have to stop being consumers of the garbage. We wonder why our kids, and I'm not saying your kids, but I'm saying just our kids as society's kids. We wonder why our kids are out of control because we push them over, we turn them over to this junk, to the video games, to the movies, to all this different stuff, okay? And we need to reorganize our life. Study, research, read, write, create, work. You know, if you have a 9-to-5 job right now, or you don't have a job at all, create a business. You need to like find a way to have an outlet for your creativity, because I'll tell you, I told you about the little clock that I made for a week and how many hours I was losing, upwards of 60 hours a week on needless stuff, even though I was being productive, sleeping, eating, working, putting in lots of time. I still had more than a full-time job available where I was wasting on various things. And you can build, you know, I hear a lot of people talk about, well, I don't have a lot of money. Money is unlimited, folks. There is no limit to money. And I'm not talking about Federal Reserve note. Yes, they can print so much, whatever. Money, no matter what you get, money is unlimited. Whether it's a dollar bill or a shell or it's gold or it's silver or whatever it is technically unlimited. So if you say, I don't have any money, that's actually not a physical problem. That is a spiritual, mental thing going on, right? Because why is it that Warren Buffett can have billions of dollars, but you can't? And he's no different other than he just learned a craft. He learned how to read stocks. Warren Buffett started off with nothing from what I recall. There's other really wealthy people that started off with nothing and are now billionaires, millionaires. And they'll tell you there was nothing special other than hard work and focusing. So instead of us spending hours and hours and hours a week watching television or a computer or consuming, it's time to change your world. Stop watching the Disney symbolism. Stop watching the television symbolism, the Hollywood symbolism, and get to work creating your business, creating your future, creating all of this for yourself and for your family and for your community, okay? Because we can't allow this stuff anymore. This is subconscious, subliminal junk. And I'll tell you, if you have a really good product out there that you create, let me know about it, and I'll see if I can't help you out in a way. So somehow, like, I'll see if I can't help you somehow push that material out there some way, shape, or form. If it doesn't align with my brand, obviously I may have to find a different way. But either way, money is unlimited. Money is a state of mind. That's all it is. I have books up here about state of mind, okay? Napoleon Hill. Money is a state of... Go read Napoleon Hill. That book will blow your mind. It will change your life, okay? So I just want you to know. I just want you to understand that this is the importance of what we have to do as Americans. We have to walk away from this destructive, dark symbolism, and we need to create our worlds, create our businesses, create our products and services, and be amazing at it. Okay? I hope that helps. I will take a few questions tonight, a couple. I hope that helps. I hope that brings value to all of you. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. Money amplifies good. Money amplifies bad, depending on what you do with it. Let's see. Questions. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It is a very good book. Excellent. I'm getting censored. Okay. I've been censored before. Questions. Jacera. If Jacera happens, I see it happening next year. I don't know for sure. Okay. Have I treated anyone that suffers from Chiari malformation? Yes, I have. Yes, I have done that many times. Let's see. Have I heard of John Lash? No, I have not heard of John Lash. Let's see. My top 5 books to read. Oh, maybe I'll just write a book list because I can't think of those off the top of my head. I mean, I'm reading one good right now, and I actually forgot the name of it. I'm also reading Donald Trump Jr.'s book still. I'm not saying, by the way, to create a business and produce so you can just make money. That's not my point. We will always live in a monetary society. So you better have money, because it's not going to be as enjoyable without it. Money buys you a lot of different things in life that you can make happier. Money itself does not make you happy. Absolutely not. But money does make a lot of problems go away a lot of times. Okay. So find something that is your purpose and you love to do. When you do that, money comes naturally. It comes very easily, actually. Okay. DNA testing suggestions. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't suggest any DNA testing out there, especially if it's government related. I don't know about the kids. I haven't seen anything about that lately. If anything, it might come later. Thank you for bringing value. You're very welcome. Thank you for letting me know I'm bringing value. I appreciate that. Scalar energy EMF blockers. I posted that. I will post it again. The company that I use. Let's see. If kids don't understand the symbols on the characters and what they mean, how does it affect them? Subliminal, subconscious. It still affects them. Go watch Out of Shadows. It's all program. It's brainwashing. It's mind programming. It does affect them. Yes, it absolutely does, because they think it's okay. I will post a book list. Have I treated cystic fibrosis? I've helped handle people with cystic fibrosis. Yes, I have. There isn't anything I pretty much haven't helped people work with. Now, I didn't say I reverse it. I said I help them, and sometimes it's a quality of life improvement. Glycogen storage disease, yes. Kevin Trudeau, globalists, said that many times. Chester Bennington, Podesta's son. I've heard he is. I don't know any more than that about it. Have I ever handled RA? I handle RA all the time. Yes, RA constantly. Vaccines in Colorado mandatory. They're not mandatory at the very moment. They got passed through a committee, but they're trying to get it to law. Is sleep apnea curable? Well, I can't say cure, but I can say it's handleable. How about that? Microbe formula, same as Cellcore. Same company, different product. What do I mean by that? When they put something on the professional market versus the public market is always a weaker formula. Just so you know. By the way, that's a secret, by the way, that people should know. I first learned that when somebody came to me with Nordic Natural supplements, because Nordic Naturals is a primary care physician only supplement line, which is fish oils that we have. And then people brought in a commercial bottle they had in the store. And when I tested the two, you needed 10 times the amount of the commercial brand to touch the physician brand. So I hope that helps you. A lot of people ask me about that. Let's see. Hashimoto's, yes. BPC autoimmune, yes. Anything autoimmune, yes. Help get kids off Suboxone. Okay, that's not a problem. I help people get off medications all the time. I don't take them off of it. I help them get healthy enough they come off of it. Yes, craniosacral therapy. Good. Yes, I handle food allergies all day long. I don't know much about the medical medium. I'm too busy with my own stuff. I don't really dive down that road of medical medium. Not that I think anything's wrong with it. I just haven't had time to go into that. Let's see. Ancestry.com. I don't know. I have never. I used them once a long time ago, and I don't use them anymore. Okay. Eczema, yes. If you want help on the health thing, you can obviously become my patient. I can help you from a distance. My wife was on earlier. She talked about that as well. I have a couple different emails. gethealthy@drjasondean.com. gethealthy@drjasondean.com. And my practice email address is info@palmernaturalhealth.com. Message us. You can get on our books, okay? Not a problem. I see people all over the world. I sometimes become upwards of 4 weeks booked out, waiting list practice. So I will help as many as I possibly can. And I also have associates as well, okay? Let's see. You can get zinc from our office, yes. The Palladians, I do believe if the Palladians are involved, they are helping with the Great Awakening. Yes, I do. I personally believe in that spiritual battle, okay? I'm going to do RH Fawn. I will do RH negative, I promise. I'm going to do it. I need some time to do RH negative because that's a mind blower, and some people are not going to like me for that one, okay? I do not do spiritual work with my treatments. Let me tell you about that, okay? I'll have one more question after this. I'm going to make this very abundantly clear. I do not do spiritual work with my treatments at the office. People go, why? It's very important. I don't disagree. It is very important. Okay? Totally agreed. However, my license is to help people from a chiropractic standpoint, from a nutrition standpoint, from a physical standpoint. I am not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist, nor do I want to be one. I also know that if you emotionally help people, spiritually help people, that you can sometimes get them in situations spiritually and mentally that are not good places. And if you don't get them out of that, their life is going to become a hell after they leave you. And I want to do no harm to the individual, so I prefer to stay out of that realm because I don't want to get somebody into a situation. I believe everyone has their own spiritual work that they can do with themselves. And I will tell you, I know a lot of people who do spiritual work with patients, and they actually do more harm than good. I'm not saying all of them do. I'm just saying some do because they get them in some sort of painful situation, regression, whatever you want to call it, and they don't get them out of it, and that person becomes very, very depressed and down, and it can cause much more harm. And so I do not get involved with that. My job is to physically help you, okay? I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying I don't do it. That's all. Not my job. Okay? You can pick your spiritual route for that because I respect all of your guys' decisions on that one, okay? One more question, and then I am done for the night because my voice is trashed tonight. Let's see. Good. I hope you guys respect the spiritual thing. It's not because I don't believe in it or anything like that. It's just I don't want to get somebody in a bad situation that I don't know enough about and can't get them out of it. I would feel very bad about that. And my license, my oath is do no harm. Okay. CBD. Okay, my last one is on CBD. I'll do another thing on CBD. Okay. Dr. Dean is not a fan of marijuana, and people are going to get mad at me for that. I will tell you why, because I think there's better ways of doing things out there, and I will tell you my personal experience with it is because I grew up in a background where people misused and abused marijuana and other drugs. So I'm very open. My viewpoint is I've had a lot of people in my life who have both been drug addicted as well as committed suicide from drugs. So you guys can do whatever you want in the marijuana drug world, whatever. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying I grew up around a lot of problems. Now, transition that into CBD oil. All right. I use things like hemp oil with no THC. What happens is it is a completely unregulated market. Everyone's going to tell me it's regulated. It's not regulated. It's not regulated at all. There's people on the corner selling crap that they have no clue where it comes from. And by the way, this is a warning to all your chiropractors out there and anybody in natural health if you have a license. If you are selling CBD oil, you are actually doing it technically illegal because it's still is it class schedule 2 narcotic, something like that? If I put CBD oil in my practice, the DEA could knock down my door tomorrow. I do not do CBD oil in my practice. There's non-THC hemp oil, totally different product, okay? So the majority of CBD oils are not THC free, and most of them have too high of a limit. The pot or marijuana of today is not the same as it was back in the 60s and 70s. And if somebody says Schedule 1, that's very possible. I have not looked it up lately, so I'm not up to date on all that different stuff. I just know it's considered a narcotic, Schedule 1 or Schedule 2. I'm not sure. You guys know better than that than I do. I just know I know that if a chiropractor or natural health doctor sells it, they are walking down a very dangerous path. And I know that because I have a friend who is involved with a philanthropy organization for children with pediatric cancers. They do amazing work. They do use CBD oil, and they actually grow their own strains, which are completely clean. You cannot buy it. It's not a private company. It's solely for helping children who are on the verge of death come back. And they get all the legal information. They have the best lawyers on the planet, and you will get your door knocked down if you have a license to practice some sort of healthcare and you're selling that stuff. So I'm not, by the way, I'm not talking about what the founders did. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm talking about 2020. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so CBD oil, if not using THC, or hemp oil not using THC, is an amazing oil. I'm not saying it's not. Okay, it's an amazing oil. However, they now lace pot with things like fentanyl, genetically modified, glyphosate, you name it. So I'm not coming at it from a standpoint of I'm telling you guys it's bad or you're bad. I'm just saying I don't get involved with it because there's too many no-nos for me, okay? And no-no from a standpoint, I have a license, guys. I'm not in the same world you are. So a lot of you out there who are doing it through network marketing, go for it, whatever you want to do. I'm in a different world, and I can't play in that world because it's a dangerous world. Plus, I have other ways of doing things. So I'm not beating anybody up. I'm just letting you know that that's how it is for me, okay? I'm not against anyone doing whatever they want to do. Yes, by the way, CBD oil has done amazing things for cancer, Parkinson's, dementia, neurological conditions, etc. So, and I truly do believe if you have elderly people or you have people suffering with really chronic diseases that are literally going to take them to the grave, yeah, go for it. I have no problem with that necessarily. If something can help them have a better quality of life, knowing full well that they're not going to fully recover from it, and it might take away epilepsy and it might take away seizures, absolutely. I'm very open to that. Okay, that's not my point. My point is strictly from a legal standpoint, and also knowing some of the background. And at the end of the day, by the way, I again grew up around people that had addiction problems and actually committed suicide over drugs and alcohol. So I come from a very different viewpoint. So I ask that people not judge what I'm talking about, because my viewpoint and where I come from is very different than everybody else does. Okay, so I have just chosen personally to stay out of that world for myself because it's just not a world I want to get into. Okay, awesome, guys. I hope that helps. I hope we brought value tonight. I hope you had a fun time. And I'll be back tomorrow night, 9:30, and I have a couple really cool interviews set up and getting scheduled. And so we'll talk to you about those. And you guys rock. I love you all. Be prepared. And do me a favor. Go find your purpose. Go find a hobby. Even if you work a 9 to 5 or work 12 hours a day, go find something else you can provide a good product or service to that you really feel good about creating, even if it's just a hobby that puts a little extra money in your pocket. Do something that serves people. And next thing you know, sometimes that little thing that turned into just a little hobby turns into your full-time job, turns into a major, amazing corporation or company where you can serve humanity even bigger, and it helps you live an amazing life. So go do it. Guys, have an amazing evening. Love you all. Take good care of yourself. Get some rest. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, signing off on Tuesday night. Be well.